maybe absolute power doesn't corrupt. You just can't be as corrupt as you want to be with the place that you're in right now. I'm Jane from Bikini Grad School. This is Crazy Shit from Books. This week we're getting into Corruptible by Brian Klaas. The book goes into dynamics of power, who gets power, why does power corrupt, or does power corrupt at all. He gives some pretty silly examples of corruption from people that maybe didn't have the most amount of power in the first place, therefore proving that you don't need to be in a place of absolute power to be totally corrupt. A way that they interfered with the election in Ukraine a couple of years ago is that this group of people switched out all of the pens in all of the voting boxes. So when everybody voted, they were voting with pens with ink that just disappeared within the next hour. So all of the voting slips were blank. Another creative one was in Zimbabwe. Certain political groups would station themselves in hospitals and make sure women that were giving birth to babies that lived in certain districts weren't getting birth certificates, playing a long game. So 18 years from now, when it comes time for these children to vote and they're in districts that are not aligned with this other group's political views, they're like, oh, sorry, no birth certificate, you can't vote. Nothing to do about that. Something else silly that he mentions, which is kind of crazy and real, is there's this kind of huge international corruption conference for essentially authoritarian dictators to get together and be like, ooh, how do you suppress voting? But he names a pretty silly instance where Nikita Khrushchev and Mao are swapping tips on God knows what, and for some reason they decide to do it in a pool, as men do. And Nikita Khrushchev can't swim, so he's in floaties and kind of going up and down the pool as the translators walk up and down the pool to translate the whole conversation to them. It doesn't really prove any points, but is just yeah, I don't. Okay. Anyway, maybe it's not so much the position of power that you hold that corrupts you, it's more that you were corrupt from the jump and you finally got the tools to do all the damage that you ever dreamed of.